Hello everybody, welcome to my mess of a driveway. See, I got a delivery the other day. I got 3 truckloads of 3-inch crushed stone. We're going to be working on my drainage trenches today. I got everything dug out with the backhoe, then dug out by hand, so everything is ready to go. First step, we're going to roll out the landscape fabric right on the bottom of the trench. So I spread the landscape fabric on the bottom of where all the trenches are going to go, weighted it down with rocks, and of course the purpose of this fabric is just to kind of filter what's going into the perforated drain pipes, and it'll help reduce the silt going in. And of course the gravel will do that as well. So let's fire up my neighbor's 4610 and let's start scooping some gravel. Alright, so now I've gone through all the gravel by hand with some hand tools there, just to even everything out, get the pitch just right. And before I start laying the pipe in, I verified my pitch. Very simply, I just took some steel rods, hammered them in the ground, pulled the string nice and tight between them, used the string level, got the string level by adjusting it up and down on the rods, then used a tape measure to measure the distance from the string down to the gravel pad on one end of the run and then on the other end. And depending on the length of the run, you want to make sure you have a proper amount of slope, amount of pitch. And it turns out to be about 2.5 inches for every 10 feet. And there are some places where I just couldn't quite get it. These 2 runs are a lot more shallow. Just because of how everything else is, it's hard to get everything pitched just right, because I would either have that end of these pipes sticking out of the ground, they'd be so high, or I'd be digging so deep over here that by the time the pipe comes out over there, it's going to be underground. It's going to be so far down by pitching it properly. So I had to kind of do the best I could. And now I'm starting to stick them together. Now this is important. These drain pipes have holes 45 degrees apart from each other, and these holes are supposed to be on the bottom. I have it totally 180 upside down right now, just for demonstration so you can see the holes. But these holes, this surface of the pipe has to be on the bottom. And it sounds counterintuitive, but the water's going to fill this trench up and it's going to come up. So the sooner the water hits these holes, it'll fill the pipe. And the water is going to follow the path of least resistance. So it doesn't matter if you have holes in the bottom of the pipe, the water is still going to want to go in the pipe and down the pipe rather than trickling through the rocks or through the dirt. If you have the holes on the top, the water is going to have to rise up higher before it hits the holes, and once the water drops below the height of the holes, it's just going to sit there. It's not going to go through the pipe anymore. So anyway, what I'm going to do to make this easier, since the holes will be on the bottom when I'm gluing the pipes together with the 2-part pipe cement, I'm going to use a Sharpie and just mark on the pipe, on the opposite side of the pipe, so I know what the exact top is. So when I'm putting the joints together, I'll just line up the 2 Sharpie marks and I know that everything is the way it is supposed to be. Well, this almost makes it look like I know what I'm doing. It's coming together fairly well. And I've stopped it at this point over here because what I'm going to do is, just to make my parking area useful again, I'm going to fill in this trench, the trench over there, going through the driveway. Also, I have my neighbor's tractor at my disposal at this point, so it'll make it a lot easier to fill these trenches in. I'm going to top these pipes off with just a little bit of gravel, put some more landscape fabric over it, and then fill it right up to the top with gravel. So here I put the landscape fabric on top of the 3-inch gravel that I put on top of the drain pipe. This ought to help filter out any silt and sediment that'll come down from the top, from the 3/4 process that I'm going to put on top, or any just random dirt that comes along. It'll prevent that from getting into the pipe and clogging it up. Alright, now with everything covered, fired up the John Deere MC, and we're going to push some of the dirt out of the way and also dig up some of this stuff here, but that's just hard packed dirt. I don't want to put gravel on top of that. I want to dig it down a little bit. That's dirt left over from pushing everything over here. With that area cleared up, I'm going to start pushing some of this 3-inch right over here in this area. I want to bring this grade up about almost a foot where the pile is, and of course taper it off towards the garage. So there's just a ever so slight downhill slope away from the garage. But anyway, let's move some of this 3-inch gravel with the dozer. well, that pile has definitely gotten smaller. You can see just about the same size as my dozer. And I started spreading it out, calling it quits for the night. But I guess that's end of part 1 for the driveway project. And stay tuned for part 2. I assume there will be a part 2. More playing around with the bulldozer. And we're going to need plenty more loads of stone. But that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, thanks for watching. Come back for more.